when we're multiplying two decimals together, there's just a few rules we have to pay attention to. Let's take a look at them. The first rule and the main thing to remember is that you're going to line up your numbers without any regard for where the decimal places are. Now, if that means that the decimal places are not in line with one another, that's okay. And notice this is different than when we were adding and subtracting decimals, because when we were adding decimals, we had to line up the numbers where the decimals were in line with one another. For multiplying decimals, that's not the case. If you had, for example, 2.71 times 5.5, then we would line them up like this, even though that means that the decimals aren't in line with one another. We just want to line them up to where their right-hand sides are on the same line. All right. Now, we do the multiplication as normal. We totally ignore the decimals throughout the multiplication process. But then when you're done, you need to know where do you put the decimal in your answer, because these decimals here may not be in line with one another. Well, here's what we do. We count the number of decimal places, or the number of digits after all the decimals. In this case, there's 1, 2, 3 digits after the decimal places. And then we're going to move the decimal in our final answer that many spaces. And this will become clear when I show you a few examples. So let's remember these three things, and let's try a couple examples. All right, here we go. We have our first example. We're going to take 4.33 and multiply it times 5.5. So we'll have a 4.33 and we'll have a 5.5. And I'm just going to line them up to where their right sides align without any regard of where the decimal places are. Then we're going to multiply like normal. We'll do our line with our little multiplication symbol. 5 times 3 is 15. I carry the 1. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 1 makes 16. So I'll put a 6 and carry the 1. 5 times 4 is 20. And we'll add the extra 1. That makes 21. Don't worry about the decimals right now. All right, let's change to the next number, the 5. So we'll have a placeholder of 0, and then we're going to multiply this 5 here times the 4, the 3, and the 3. 5 times 3 is 15, so we'll put a 5, and then we'll put a 1 up here. We don't need this one anymore. Okay. 5 times 3 is 15, and 1 makes 16. So we'll put a 6 and a 1. And 5 times 4 is 20, and 20 and 1 make 21. And then, as you know, if these were just regular integers, we would add these answers together. We would get a 5. 6 and 5 make 11. I'll put a 1 and carry the 1. 6 and 1 make 8. 1 plus 2 makes 3, and then we get a 2. So I get all this long string of numbers, 2, 3, 8, 1, 5. And I know it's got some decimal in it, but I'm not really sure where to put the decimal. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at my decimal places in my original problem, and then I'm going to count the digits after all these decimal places. I have 1, 2, 3 digits after the decimal places. So I'm going to move this decimal 1, 2, 3 places to the left. And so my final answer would be 23.815. Now, a good way to check your answer when you're done is just to use a rough estimation. If this was just a 4 without a decimal and just a 5, so 4 times 5 is 20, this answer should be somewhere in the ballpark of 20. And 23.8 is definitely in the right ballpark. If this decimal was off one direction to the left or to the right, you would either have 238, which is way too big, or 2.38, which is way too small. So that's just a good informal, quick way of checking your answer. Let's try one last example. Let's say we had 14.91 times 2.03. All right, now in this example, the decimals do line up, but that's okay. We'll chalk that up to a coincidence. They don't have to line up, but in this case they do. I do the multiplication as normal. 1 times 3 is 3. 9 times 3 is 27, so I'll put a 7 with a 2 up here. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 and 2 make 14. I'll carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 makes 4. Then we'll put a placeholder And actually 0 times anything would be 0. So I think let's just skip the 0 one. We'll put an additional placeholder for the 2, and then we'll multiply these 4 numbers as well. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 9 is 18. So I'll carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 and 1 make 9. And 2 times 1 makes 2. Add these quantities together, you would get a 3, a 7, a 6, a 12 that we carry the 1, a 10 that we carry the 1, and a 3. That's 6 digits, and we put our decimal place somewhere. Now where should we put the decimal place? Well, let's count how many digits happen after the decimals. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll move our decimal place 1, 2, 3, 4 places to the left, and our final answer would be 30.2673. So remember those basic steps. Line up your numbers without regard for the decimals, do the multiplication as normal, and then move your decimal and your answer accordingly.